Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn how to frame sentences in English. Whenever we want to talk about something or whenever we want to write about something, we use sentences. And it is very important to learn how to frame the sentences in English. While framing the sentences in English, we follow a formula called SVO. S stands for subject, V stands for verb, and O stands for object. Every sentence in English begins with subject. The first part in the sentence should be subject. Subject means something which does an action in the sentence. The performer in the sentence is called subject. It may be person, it may be thing, it may be animal, anything which does an action in the sentence. So any sentence begins with subject. Then after that we mention verb, the action, what action we are talking about. Then the object means receiver. Now let us take one example. With the example we will learn how to frame the sentences. Suppose we want to talk about a person called Manoj, and we want to talk about what he does. We use a sentence, right? Now we are talking about the person, right? The doer, subject. That is, let us take Manoj. Manoj. So Manoj is the subject. We are beginning the sentence with the subject, Manoj. And now after writing subject, we have to mention the work, what he does. So Manoj sells flowers. Manoj sells flowers. Manoj subject, sells verb, flowers object, the receiver. So this is the formula that we follow while framing sentence. So first comes the subject, next is verb, and later object. So we are talking about a person called Manoj, and we are talking about the action that he does, that is sell, and the object, the receiver of the in the sentence, that is flowers. So this is how we frame sentence in English. So if you speak this, or if you write this same sentence in Kannada, we have the other formula. We have in Kannada, we have S plus O plus V. In Kannada we write subject first, Manoj. Now let's write the same sentence in Kannada. Manoj subject. Now in English, we after mentioning subject we mention the verb, but in Kannada we do not mention the verb. We mention object. Manoj, we write object. ಹೂಗಳನ್ನು sells, present tense, ಮಾರುತ್ತಾನೆ. First comes subject, next comes object and verb. So many people, while speaking, they try to translate the Kannada sentences into English. While translating, they use subject, object and verb when they try to translate this in English. No. In English we have SVO pattern. In Kannada we have SOV pattern. In Kannada we write first subject, then object and verb. Manojan ಹೂಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾರುತ್ತಾನೆ. If you write this sentence in English, Manoj sells flowers. So this is a basic thing that you should understand, right? Now let us take one more example. So this is a basic pattern. We have to mention the subject first. We have to talk about the person first. We have to highlight him, the doer in the sentence, right? The performer. Then the action. Then the receiver. Now let us write this same sentence in past tense. Now we use sells in order to refer the actions which happen every day, which happen on a regular basis, because we use cells here, simple present tense. We use simple present tense to talk about the actions which happen always, which happen on regular basis. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ yesterday's action, what Manoj did yesterday, how we are supposed to write? Now let us write this same sentence in past tense. Whatever happened yesterday, whatever Manoj did yesterday, now we want to talk, we want to write. How will you write? Manoj, now we have to write the past tense form of this word, this verb. Manoj sold flowers. Manoj sold flowers. Manoj subject, sold verb, flowers. Now you can observe the difference, past tense, because we are talking about the action which took place yesterday. Manoj sold flowers yesterday. Yesterday, right? So this is the action which took place in past tense. So whenever we talk about the actions, we have to mention the tense, the proper tense. If the actions take place in present tense, we have to use the present tense. If the action took place in past, we have to use the past tense, right? So you have to mention the proper tense of the sentence, right? Now here you may observe I have added yes to the verb because it is in present tense. Now I will write one more sentence in present tense and let us see the difference. Now let us see the changes. Now instead of Manoj, I take the other subject. They, it is plural subject. They, our room, they sell flowers. They sell flowers. Both the sentences are in present tense, simple present tense. Manoj sells flowers. Manoj ಹೂ ಮಾರುತ್ತಾನೆ, which means it happens on a regular basis. ಅವನು ಅದು ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಚುವಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್, ಅದು ಅವನ ವೃತ್ತಿ, ಅದು ಹೂ ಮಾರುವಂಥದ್ದು. In the second sentence we see they sell flowers. ಅವರು ಹೂಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾರುತ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರ ಕೆಲಸನೂ ಅದೇ, right? But here you may observe one basic difference. Here we have only sell, but here we have sells. There is difference between these two sentences, because the difference is here we have s form, here we have base form. The reason why we have used such different verbs is the agreement, subject and verb agreement. There is an agreement between subject and verb. What is the agreement? Now I will tell you the subject verb agreement. Now we will study about the subject verb agreement. There is an agreement between subject and verb. Now I have taken two subjects, one singular subject and plural subject, in order to make you understand how this agreement works in sentences. Now let us read these examples and try to understand how the subject verb are agreed. Okay? Now when you look at the first sentence, this is in simple present tense. He works in a company. He works in a company is a sentence. In this sentence you may notice that the verb takes yes form. So whenever the subject is singular in present tense, in simple present tense, the verb also takes singular form. Many people think that if there is s after verb, they think it is plural. No. If you add s to noun, it becomes plural. For example, book. If you add s, it becomes books. It becomes plural. Book, books, book singular, books plural. But whenever you add s to verb, that verb becomes singular. If you add s to noun, it becomes plural. For example, bus, buses, book, books, school, schools. But when you add s to the verb, write, writes, write plural, writes singular, work plural, works singular, eat plural, eats singular, come plural, comes singular verb. So here, so since it is singular subject, it takes singular verb. If the sentence is in present tense, the subject, if the subject is singular, the verb also should be singular form. It should be in singular form, right? So when you look at the next sentence, in this sentence you have plural verb, plural subject. What is the subject? They. They work in a company. They is subject. So since it is plural subject, we have only work. That is plural verb, plural subject, plural verb. He works in a company. They work in a company. Ashok works in a company. My friends work in a company. Like this, right? My friend drives a car. My friends drive the car. Like this. My father uses smartphone. My father, singular subject. My father uses smartphone. My brothers, plural subject. My brothers use smartphone. Right? Like this, you have to use the appropriate verb form based on the subject. If the subject is singular, you have to take singular verb. If the subject is singular, we have to add s to the verb in present tense, right? So this is the simple present tense. Now if you go to past tense, in past tense, even if the subject is singular or plural, we use worked. If the subject is singular, we use worked. If the subject is plural, we use worked. So this agreement is not applied here, right? So in present past tense, we use worked for same singular and plural subject. He worked there. I worked there. She worked there. They worked there. There is no difference. For all the subjects, there is only one common verb, that is worked, right? So now look at the next example. The same sentence I have written in all the tenses. Now this is in present continuous. This is in present continuous, which means it is still going on in present tense. It is still going on. This is past continuous. It was going on. It is going on, right? Okay. He is working in a company. Now here also you can observe. He is working in a company. In the next sentence, they are working in a company. So here the subject is same singular. So since it is singular subject, we take singular be verb. Singular be verb in present tense. When you look at the same sentence in past tense, he was working in a company. We use singular be verb in past tense. We use singular be verb in present tense. Past tense and present tense. So for plural subject also, they are working in a company. Plural be verb in present tense. They were working in a company. Plural be verb in past tense. Right? So that is how. For example, I am working. He is working. She is working. They are working. Manoj is working. Sunil is in Bombay. Manoj is in Bombay. Pavitra is in Bombay. Like this you have to use. They are in Bombay. They are my friends. It is good. It is nice. They plural subject, they are nice. So based on the subject we should use the verbs, right? So but if you write instead of is, if you mention are, no, the agreement is not no applied here, that the subject and verb do not agree. He are, no, he are, no, he work, no, they works, no, we cannot use, we cannot no use such no wrong forms of the incorrect forms of the verbs, no. So if you look at the next example, that is, it is in perfect tense, present perfect tense, past perfect tense. We have he has worked in a company. So whenever there is subject, if the subject is singular, we use has. This is have verbs. We use have verbs. We should use the correct have verbs according to the subject. If the subject is singular, in present tense we use has. If the subject is plural, we use have. But if it is in past tense, for both singular and plural we use had. Right? She has a car. She has a car. They have a car. He has paid the fees. Manoj has paid the fees. My friends have paid the fees. Like that you have to use the have verbs. The correct have verbs you have to use. Okay. Now the next sentence also, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. There also you should use the correct have verbs based on the subjects, right? So this is how you should use the subject and verb agreement properly. Now let us look at the subject verb agreement in negative sentences. Here we have some negative sentences, and let us read these sentences one by one and let us understand how this agreement is there in these sentences. The first sentence, he does not use mobile while driving. He does not use mobile while driving. The next sentence, they do not use mobile while driving. They do not use mobile while driving. So in these two sentences you may observe change. So here we have does, here we have do. So whenever there is singular subject in present tense, we use does, and whenever there is plural subject we use do. Plural subject take plural verb, singular subject takes singular verb. He does, they do. But in past tense we use did, even if it is singular or plural. In both situations we use same verb did. He did not use, they did not use. Here many students are confused here. He do not know. Some students frame sentences like this. He do not have money. No, he does not have money. You does not know. No, you do not know. She don't know. No, she does not know. In present tense. So it is very important to use the correct form of the verb. You have to look at the subject and you have to look at the tense, right? Now, she does not have money. They do not have money. Manoj does not have mobile. Sunil does not have mobile. They do not have mobile. Like this you have to use. So this is how the subject and verb agree. So this is how the agreement is made between subject and verb. So in this way we have to frame sentences.